Alrighty, this is demo day on the 22nd of October. I'm hosting it today for us. Good afternoon, everybody. And if you're watching this afterwards, thank you and welcome. Logan is on leave this week, so he isn't doing the demo day, so I'm going to do it with Skalk. And yeah, I've got a bunch of things from my side, which I'll be demoing. And then Skalk, I think you can give some brief feedback on the Leverly stuff. And yeah, we'll kick off with that. Just a quick mention, I did mention it just now before starting recording. I shared a video in the Telegram about the guy from Smarter Every Day who's got a very big YouTube channel, and they're busy on a project specifically on your privacy and access to your data. And he explains there about the hot frog. If you jump into the hot pot, as opposed to being in the pot and then heated gradually, you don't really realize that it's happening. So we want to reach out to them, have an interview with them. So I'm going to start the process of that, because there's some good synergies between Foundry and what they're doing. And I think that can mean a lot for the project. So just a quick update on that. Alrighty, I'll jump into the first stuff we have for this week. We have completed the Foundry website design. So we have seen this before, so I'm not going to spend too much time on the homepage, but there's a few other things we added that I want to show. So we added all the logos of the projects now at the top, which looks really nice. And another small thing we added on the homepage is just this section about the Fry itself, Team Toast, or the Fry token sale, how that works. And the rest of the stuff already showed, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. We also added the About Us page now. So it shows about Foundry, Pro Liberty, for-profit, member managed, the introduction. Then it shows Team Toast, which is Logan and Skalk, and then SwiftChain, which is us and the rest of the guys working on it and doing the designs and building the front ends and the stuff. And so we wanted to make this the distinction between, you can't really work for Foundry as an employee because that's obviously a DAO, but individuals or agencies can do work for Foundry. So from a Team Toast perspective, that's Logan and Skalk, and then from SwiftChain, it's us. So we wanted to just make that distinction, and we'll also distinguish between the two. And as more people work for Foundry, we'll obviously add them to the page. Yeah, we've completed the rest of the page as well. There's some icons here which aren't in the design that we'll include once the content's actually live, but the design itself has been completed. The next thing we completed is the roadmap page. I really like the design that we have on here. We spent quite a lot of time building this. And yeah, it shows the complete roadmap from where Foundry started and where Foundry wants to end. And we're building this completely dynamically. So if you go into our Strappy backend that we've been showing, that we also completed, when you add or remove from the roadmap, it will automatically add more circles or remove them. So it's really easy for anybody to update this roadmap going forward. We also added the FAQ page. In the actual development or front end that we're building, we're not going to include these categories right now. We're just going to have all the different FAQs. So that's going to fall away. But yeah, we completed that. And I think those were the missing pages we still had from our design that we demoed last week. So yeah, we've completed all the different designs, and we're now building this into a Next.js front end with the Strappy backend. So we're currently aiming on, so the sprint is 2 weeks. So we're aiming on completing that within the next 2 weeks, which then means the new Foundry site will be live with all the latest stuff that we've added, and also be very easy to update. So hopefully we won't fall behind again with our content and our stuff that we've had on there. The next thing I want to demo is just a quick bug we fixed on the DETH dashboard, the App Leverly dashboard. The current ETH price wasn't fetching every time you update the screen. So with the recent spike in ETH price, it was still showing the price from last week. But as you can see now, when you refresh the screen, every time it will fetch the latest price and make these calculations a bit more accurate. Then we fixed an issue on governance. So our governance before was dependent on showing or connecting a wallet, a MetaMask wallet, to fetch the proposal or even load. And that's why if you open governance on your phone on a browser such as Safari that doesn't even have wallet connection capabilities, let's say you don't use the MetaMask browser, it just completely crashes instantly. So we figured out a way to connect directly to the RPC in the background without requiring you to have a wallet. So you can actually go to governance, see the proposals. You can't interact with them, so you can't vote and create new ones, but at least you can load them in the page loads, and it loads nicely on mobile, so you can see the Foundry governance on your phone. If you want to then use it, you'll have to use a Web3 browser such as MetaMask or something, which you can do from your phone directly. We have a ticket on our backlog to implement Wallet Connect, as we did for Permapost and the rest of the apps, which will actually allow you to use governance on your phone. But to date, we haven't really prioritized that yet, since we think people will be mostly making proposals from their desktop computers, but you can at least view them on your phone. We are also very close to making governance live. So we created a new Matic multi-sig contract yesterday. We required that for the deploying all the stuff to the mainnet. So we've finished the contract that deploys all the contracts with the time locks and everything for the governance to Matic. And yeah, I think we'll just probably wait for Logan to be back next week, Monday. So we'll spend some time then to get the governance stuff live and then do some final round of tests. We're also working on our F-Shop tests to test for actual auditing, so that we can also get the DAO listed on that DAO listing site. But yeah, the governance is basically done, and this new feature where you don't really need MetaMask to load proposals is very nice, because you can now open the governance be on the completely wrong chain or wallet, and it would still work. Yeah, so we're really on the verge of going live with that. And yeah, quick update on the marketing. As I mentioned in the beginning, we'll be reaching out to those guys for an interview. We have a bunch of interviews already that Skulk and Logan have been arranging for us. And once our new website is now live within the next 2 weeks, our PR article will be going live on 6 or 7, was it even 10 different crypto sites, including crypto.com. We'll be posting that to get some eyes on the project. And yeah, I think we've seen from the efforts the last few weeks, we've already seen a nice bump in the price of Fry. So that's positive for us. We've been getting a few more people buying Fry from us. So the treasury balance is actually growing, allowing the team to further work on the project. So that's been positive. I think that's mostly it from my side and all the overview updates of the project. Skulk, if you maybe want to give an update specifically on Leverly, I think, and then that should be all of it.
Yeah, give me one second. I brought my dog to the pet-friendly workspace today, and my dog is here. She comes back now. Okay, I'll call her. Okay, yeah. So I spent most of the work time this week on basically ensuring that the math works out for the Leverly launch. So I'm going to, and I also built a presentation on, like it's an expansion of last week's presentation, but I built a presentation on how exactly the funds will flow through, like I don't want to call it a sale, but through the Leverly generation event. Right. So I mean, you actually mint your own lever when you participate in the thing, and you're also in full control of it. Yeah, so I spent most of the week doing math to ensure that the liquidity pools that we fund with the funds that come into the curve distribution mechanism always works out such that there's no reason to arbitrage the one against the other. So they both sort of like match price for most of the period of that. They should theoretically match price if no other activity happens. Yeah, so that took a little bit of doing. Yeah, and then I now have a better presentation out. I should be able to record it within the next 2 days. That just basically should act as a little marketing video for the Lever token and how exactly we intend to make money with Lever. So yeah, so that's the only update I have. Now I just want to say I'm very excited about our what we built with governance. You know, one of the side effects of the way we built it actually is that any other token can use our contracts now to deploy the same thing and have governance up for themselves. Yeah, so I'm actually very excited about that going forward, and it's definitely the same stuff we're going to use for the yeah, it's the same stuff we're going to use for Leverly as well going forward for its governance system. So yeah, while it's not the full final version of what we want to build yet for Foundry, I do think it's going to be very useful. Now that's the only update I have now. Hopefully within the next 48 hours or so, I can upload the presentation video. Yeah, but I'll link that in all the channels and on Twitter and so forth once that's up.
Thanks, Schalk. Yeah, so just to quickly show on the Foundry governance, last week when we showed the governance, you had to connect the wallet. And just to show now my wallet. So what the way the Web3 thing works is that it looks at the RPC chain that your MetaMask is set to and then decides to use that. I don't know if you guys can see the pop-up here, but I'm on the Ethereum mainnet and I'm not connected and the proposals are loading. So yeah, that's just the nice thing of what we did. And we've also merged that feature that Logan had he had some issues with demoing that last week of how quickly we load the proposals. And yeah, it now takes a few seconds to load 5 proposals. So I'm also super excited about the way we've built this governance and to finally get it live and start loading proposals and start throwing some treasury towards it. So the plan is also, once this is now live, we'll take some of the funds from the treasury, pretty automatic, and put it in the governance so people can actually make proposals for Foundry and we can start voting on them, which hopefully will also create some nice traction and attention on the project. I think that's pretty much it from my side. I don't know if there are any questions, but I think we can probably end it here. You happy, Schalk?
Yeah, I can't see the chat on my device at the moment. Does iPhone have any questions?
Doesn't seem like there's anything in the chat. So yeah, I'll end it here, and then maybe if the person wants to ask some questions, okay, well, there they left. Okay, I'll end it here. Have a great weekend, everybody, and thanks for watching. Cheers.